activities that have nothing to do with work. We learn how to have fun and experience life just for the sake of the experience, not the outcome.
Tip number 6 is manage stress. You need to understand the meaning you assign to things and practice continuous deep breathing. Also, memorize a statement that brings you back to center.
We need to learn to manage stress. Why is it that what one person finds exhilarating, another finds stressful? It has to do with the meaning we assign to it. We're the ones who create those associations. It's hard to say if we say it is. It's easy if we say it is. When we tour throughout the year, people come from 2 different schools of thought. To some, their reaction is, it must be hard being on the road so much. To others, they think, wow, you are so lucky to be able to travel and get paid for it. The meaning you assign will determine how you experience it.
That's right. If you're feeling rushed, say, I'm always in the right place at the right time. It'll calm you down right away. You know, many people have a prayer, an affirmation, or a mantra. A mantra just simply jams the circuit of the never-ending thoughts that fire off in the brain. It brings them back to the present moment. Some people recite the rosary. What if you said over and over, I love my life? When I was paralyzed, I was laying in the hospital and I would silently repeat the thought, every day, in every way, I'm getting better and better. And when people asked me how I was, I'd always smile and say, I'm getting better. Tip number 7, and this is a big one, is overcoming victim consciousness. I constantly remind myself that I'm the thinker who thinks the thought that creates my reality. I can't change anyone else, but I'm completely in charge of myself. Best-selling author T. Harv Eker in Secrets of the Millionaire Mind says, instead of taking responsibility for what's going on in their lives, people choose to play the role of the victim. They aren't victims. They play the role of the victim. They choose to think, poor me. So that's literally what they get. They get to be poor. We must be willing to ask ourselves, how did I create this? Or what was my part in creating this situation?
Here are the 3 signs to help you recognize when you're unconsciously slipped over to victim consciousness. Blaming. If you're blaming others, then you don't do what it takes to change the situation. It keeps you small and powerless. When you've lost sight of how powerful you are, you may even stoop to shaming others to give yourself a false sense of power. True power comes when we recognize that we are creating the world with our 3 arrows of power. Every thought we think, every word we speak, and every action we take. This is what we teach students in schools all across the nation in our Walking in Wisdom Student Assembly. This is the most empowering lesson we can learn and give you.
The second sign is justifying. Anytime you feel the need to defend yourself, you're directing energy into something that's already past. You'd find much more power in responding rather than reacting. The point of power is always in the present moment. Be aware that the word power can be interchanged with the word energy. The third sign is complaining. Whatever you focus on expands. So when you're complaining, you're focusing on what you don't want instead of on what you do want. When you do that, you get more of what you don't want. Words literally form the ethers that bring things into physical form. It starts with a thought, gets charged with a feeling. Remember, emotion is simply energy in motion. And then our words form the ether into matter. Pay very close attention to how you're using your words. When we're willing to assume complete responsibility, we have true power. Say out loud, I create the exact level of happiness, health, and success I experience in my life.
Now we have identified the difference between burnout and stress, and we can see that burnout is complete physical, mental, or emotional exhaustion brought on by extended periods of stress left unattended. It leads to disconnection, isolation, and failure in our relationships as well as our work life. And we've reviewed the risk factors in your workplace as well as in your lifestyle choices and your personality traits. And the best news is that now you can recognize, reverse, and recover from burnout. We've given you 7 powerful tips to eliminate burnout. You are a miracle. Remember to value yourself and your life. Keep the big picture in mind. Life is beautiful when you stop to smell the roses.
No matter how far gone you think you are, it's never too late to rekindle the flame that burns within your heart. Even the smallest ember can be reignited with a breath of kindness. Be kind to yourself. Nurture yourself. Remember that you are here for a reason. It is no accident that you survived. You are the rarest thing in the world. On the day you were born, the whole universe celebrated. Remember, life is sacred, and it's not a dress rehearsal. You get to choose how you live it.
So for the next 30 days, do the following 3 things. First, put yourself on your daily task list. Do something that nurtures you. Next, decide on one thing you've been wanting to do, not an obligation. And finally, do one thing toward that every day. We don't know how long we get to stay here on Earth. We don't know if our paths will ever cross again. All we know is that right here, now, we have a chance to make something of this life, to have a life worth living.
We're born with wonder and joy. It's ours for the taking whenever we remember to claim it. Let your life be full of passion and let it inspire those you come in contact with. Remember, yesterday is history. Tomorrow's just a mystery. Right now is all there is. It's a gift. That's why they call it the present.
My children, can't you see? I have made everything beautiful.
Beauty is before me, before me, before me. Beauty is before me, before me is great beauty.
Will you walk in beauty, in beauty, in beauty? Will you walk in beauty, in beauty? Will you walk?
I will walk in beauty, in beauty, in beauty. I will walk in beauty, in beauty will I walk.
Look to the north, the south, the east, the west.